Hello and welcome to Social Media Weekly, episode 21st April 2021. Social Media Weekly is brought to you by Virtual Colors Marketing, rehumanizing your marketing experience. My name is Sean. This week's news: Facebook wants to do more with Spotify. Their recent collaboration effort is called Project Boombox, where Facebook plans to include an, quote, inline audio player that allows us to listen to songs on playlists that originate from Spotify without leaving Facebook. So Facebook has been doing a lot of work to keep us within their app and not go out and do stuff elsewhere and probably not come back to Facebook. It will also allow creators to share their own works, pretty much like what SoundCloud has been doing right now with their group of smaller creators. So on one side you have Spotify, where the big creators, essentially musicians that are attached to labels. Then you have the independent creators who sell small number of music or just want to be known, share their content for free, like SoundCloud. Facebook wants two parts, took both of them to be in Facebook as well. And there is a possibility that this will also be Facebook's entrance into podcasting, because since Spotify has podcasting, and it's a good way to get into it, which is something every tech company wants to put their dime on these days. Podcasting is something all tech companies seem to be investing on top of Clubhouse. I think they're called audio sharing rooms or something like that. Whatever, Clubhouse. Project Boombox is being tested in a few markets right now and will be released for everyone in the next month. Topping this with its Clubhouse competitor features, it seems like Facebook is poised to pivot into audio social media. But the company is now faced with a legacy problem. It wants to be where the future is, which is AR, VR, and audio. The near future is audio and then AR, VR. But it is also chained down by old stuff like newsfeed, groups, marketplace, and watch, and other stuff that are mediocre but not industry leading. This is what happens when you have a social media that reacts to everything in the market instead of plan and leads its way forward by creating opportunities by itself. It dabbles in everything. It puts its feet into every single thing, but not fully getting immersed in it. So it's good at nothing. So this is part of Facebook's move into the audio world. We will see if they gets to dominate it, or they will just be another one of those Me Too group of people in that audio thing. Clubhouse closes $4 billion valuation Series C funding. Last week, Bloomberg announced that Twitter tried but failed to buy Clubhouse for $4 billion, and that Clubhouse would try to raise funds for that same amount in valuation. Now it has raised it has raised some amount of money via Series C funding. The exact amount raised isn't disclosed yet, probably because it is a multi-stage funding round and hasn't officially closed yet. So they are using the valuation that was put forth by Twitter in order to raise some funds. And okay, this is how I look at it, right? The timing seems a little bit too good for my taste. It can't be just coincidental. So Clubhouse has always been struggling to keep up with the major competitors that are coming up, right? You have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you have Discord, you have Slack. Everybody has a Clubhouse competitor up their sleeves. And in as late as summer of this year, it should already be out globally. So Clubhouse is struggling, and they are threatened by all corners, and they need to push forward. So the biggest problem Clubhouse has always had is actually funding and experience. But with funding, you can buy experience. So essentially just funding. So then suddenly Twitter comes over, right? And it makes a $4 billion offer to buy it up, which was conveniently rejected by Clubhouse, and officially puts Clubhouse at a value, because if someone puts an offer at that price, you automatically gain that value, right? Clubhouse has a value of $4 billion and made it so much easier to raise funds at that valuation. I know officially Twitter is a competitor, but actually behind all the facade, the backers, the board members, the investors and everything, they're all friends. It's like, you have people from all the competitor companies backing each other and funding each other's company and sitting each other's boards. So essentially, yeah, Twitter could be doing this to help Clubhouse push forward and be better. So now that Clubhouse has secured the money, it actually comes down to what they will do to try to stay ahead of the looming competition. Having money won't solve the problem. It is just the first step to finding solutions, and finding the right solutions and applying it at the right time, applying the right place at the right time, will either put itself ahead of competitors, or at least in competition with them, or burn the entire thing. We'll see. Este Lauder works with Snapchat on AR campaign. Cosmetic brand Este Lauder has launched a special campaign with Snapchat that will allow users to try on their foundations via an AR lens. It's a good move by a brand to reach younger audiences and allow them to virtually try on something before buying. So what they do is, essentially they have, if you're not familiar with this, you have a lens that kind of applies filter onto your face via a selfie camera, and that filter onto the face are actually foundations created by Este Lauder for you to try it out. So if it looks good on you, you like it with your complexion and all that, with your face and all that, then you can go out and actually buy that model, which is a good way to try it out, virtually try it out without actually having to go to a place and having to deal with salespeople and then having to be bugged by them, and you let them have your phone number and you won't hear the end from them. And it's good for them to reach out to younger audiences as well, because cosmetic companies like Este Lauder, they need to continue to reach out to younger audience so they can have a steady flow of customers from all generations. And Snapchat is a good place to be, because Snapchat is used by primarily Western younger people. So the thing here is that Snapchat's AR lens isn't a new technology by any sense, and Este Lauder's move isn't new by any means. There have been companies that have tried this before, and although we wouldn't say that they failed, but maybe the implementation is not right. So the question remains, why isn't this a common thing yet? Because it makes sense for people to try it out and then to see whether they like it or not. And if they like it, they can go ahead and buy it. There are so many. Why is it there are so many big brands with so much budget at their disposal still not incorporating this method into their marketing strategies as one of the must-do thing? Because if you talk about Snapchat, yeah, fine. This market is not built for. It's not a big market for Snapchat, but we do have Instagram, and that is a big thing, right? And we had a viral filter where people were trying out hair color. And imagine if that hair color thing was actually created by a brand like L'Oreal, they would have been able to sell so many hair dyes and all that stuff, or so it's there is an opportunity there, and big companies are not taking up on this opportunity at this point. It could be that brands don't see or cannot track ROI from these campaigns. They just put it out there for fun. They don't know if there's a spike in sales, and they don't know how to track the sales because of that. Maybe because the social media platform does not give them a lot of tracking metrics based on this, like how many people downloaded this, where are they from, and then you see from the downloads based in these locations, are there spikes in sales in the retailers and things like that. So without the tracking means they cannot draw the entire thing, and maybe because of that, the marketing team cannot justify spending money on this AR campaign. Or that maybe young audiences could be too long tail for them to consider right now. Maybe they may not have the money to buy things like IKEA maybe. Youngsters use this to map their house and everything like that, but chances of them actually buying a house is not that high at that age range, and maybe a few years down the road they might consider buying because and filling the house up with IKEA furniture because of that AR capability. Maybe there are big companies that are just too comfortable with the usual way of doing business, which happens to everybody, and they don't want to try new things until a competitor stages a massive success with it. So they're going like, well, I probably won't spend this first. I don't want to be the first mover. I'll probably be the second mover. We'll see how the first mover does it, what kind of problems they have, and then improve on the learnings that we gain from them. But in any case, it is a very good campaign strategy, and we can see that in the next 3 to 5 years, it will be something that we rely on, brands rely on to sell things to people. But as for brands, you can't expect to jump right onto a track and run at full speed. You have to start from somewhere, and this is the somewhere that allows you to learn all the things that allow you to grow without harsh criticism from the people and all that. And then, when the trend comes in, it is when you are very good at it, and then you're able to run at 100 while everybody is just starting off. So it is actually a good place to start. LinkedIn offers Hub for companies to train employees. It's called the LinkedIn Learning Hub, and it's a successor to their current Learning Pro, which was essentially a service acquired from lynda.com, lynda.com, for $1.5 billion in 2015. So Lynda was actually a website, or essentially a website with all the training videos to learn anything you want, from technology to management to sciences and all that kind of stuff. Instead of paid users being able to train themselves to be better at the workplace, which was what Learning Pro was supposed to be. Let's say if you're a LinkedIn user, you pay a special premium, you sign up to a premium version, you have access to the LinkedIn's Learning Pro, and you're able to watch videos like Coursera and all that in order to maybe upskill yourself. And once you gain a certificate, it will automatically be added into your LinkedIn account to say that you are proficient in something, and then when someone tries to hire you, that is a good resume that you can have as well. So what LinkedIn is trying to do now is they're trying to offer this tweaked version to employers instead. HR managers can create specific curriculum for their employees so that they will learn stuff that is required in their scope of work, instead of the employees going out and learning whatever they feel like it, and then may not be, of the 10 things that they learn, maybe not all of them are valuable to the company, right? So what happens is now the company decides, you take this package, you learn everything in it, you get certified, and I will pay you more, or there is a chance for you to be promoted into the next level. They can also incorporate internal training materials on top of relying on what LinkedIn already has in their repository. This is also important for maybe newcomers who are learning the works. So the HR team can actually upload a bunch of videos and everything, or training courses for the employees to pick up, and then from there they don't have to actually run webinars all the time or seminar or classes all the time. They can immediately say, okay, this is the link to all the videos, watch all the videos, finish it up, and once you get all the ticks from LinkedIn, then HR knows that you already watched all the videos. Maybe there's a test at the end as well. LinkedIn has hit the nail with this service, in my opinion, because I think all companies, big and small, rely heavily on internal trainings for all their staffs. Top that with the content LinkedIn already has, I think the only thing that is keeping everybody from taking up this service would be the price. And with LinkedIn, it's always the price, because LinkedIn is bloody expensive. Right, that's all for Social Media Weekly this week. Social Media Weekly podcast is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and we post basic clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Social Media Weekly, episode 21st April 2021. My name is Sean. Stay safe. See you next week. Au revoir.